Hello, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita, and today I'm joined by my co-host again, Nick Barr. Talking a little Bulls today. We're kind of previewing the this upcoming huge game. In my opinion, I know it's all still regular season, but it's kind of a good measuring stick against the Nets. We beat them earlier in the year, but this is kind of, the Nets are kind of getting back to full health here. The Bulls might, and we'll kind of touch on who may be coming back for that game and kind of just everything going along with that. But first, we are recording on Tuesday night. This will be up on Wednesday. The Bulls have not yet tipped off against the Pistons. Real quick prediction for that game. Nick, I can go first, actually. Bulls win by 25. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I love that. I was going to say 20, but 25 is even better. Yeah. So Tony, to get into that. So yeah, they'll be tipping off against Pistons. Hopefully get our swagger back from that, that Sunday night loss against the Mavericks. Still playing at home. And then we get another game at home versus the Nets tomorrow, which is what we want to talk about. So big game, like you said, it's not only a measuring game for the Bulls. They played the Nets twice already, beat the Nets both times, but they will now have the infamous and famous Kyrie Irving in the starting lineup. So that's the big thing. This is a test for the Bulls. It's kind of crazy, Tony, reading articles, talking about the preview for this game. And you're just like, and if you're reading an unbiased, national news article or whatever it may be, they're talking about the Bulls as, top team in the East, which is true, but also still feels weird to hear and is awesome. But then even being called a championship contender now, we've gotten into that realm. Past couple weeks, I think it's safe to say we've gotten into that realm. So it's just surreal to read, honestly.
And even Dwayne Casey, I just saw this tweet on the old timeline. Oh, here it is. NBC Sports Chicago tweeted out. There's a quote from Dwayne Casey, former coach of the Raptors. And DeMar is formerly from a couple teams ago. He deserves MVP buzz. So just all of that kind of culminating. The fact that we do have not just DeMar, who's an MVP candidate. There is an argument to be made kind of with LaVine's season. He's probably not going to win it because he's really not DeMar is, I think, a little more consistent maybe. But the fact that the fact that we can even bring it up and not be laughed out of the building it's just nice, man. It's just, we got some respect on our name and I appreciate that.
For real, man. For real. So, tomorrow's big for that. And then also ESPN broadcast, which is one of two this week. We got the Warriors is also a ESPN broadcast. So two, national, I think we're getting some national credit at this point. It's taken this long in this season, though, I will say, not to sound like Stacey King over here, but it took a while to get some respect on our name, but I think it's finally here. So, what better way to prove it than to beat the Nets, the fully equipped Nets, right? Mm-hmm. And then, more games to make up for that this week. We both said the Warriors game, that's going to be tough with Clay. And that is the main story. As much as you love the new look Bulls or not, that is the main story of the league right now. Right.
Oh yeah.
But that'll be interesting, man. And I just want to bring this up real quick about Kyrie last night. I think it was last night, a game against the Blazers. He kind of almost got his ankle rolled up on a little bit on a play. If you look at the video, I forgot the other player was diving for the ball, right? And it just kind of awkwardly so happens that Kyrie is reaching for the ball, but then gets rolled up on. And of course, in true Kyrie fashion, he thinks it's intentional. He even went on to say that, it's unnecessary play, whatever. The guy was going for a loose ball, man. That's just, and listen, you're going to get that when you're playing the Bulls. We're going to play you hard, man. So I think he had 22 points last night against, bad Blazers team, basically. I think it's going to be fun just seeing him get locked down by Lonzo and Io. And now he's one of the best basketball players around. That we can make fun of him all we want, but that's true. So he's still going to get his bag. I'm interested to see how we guard Durant. We got, unfortunately, Javonte Green out at least another week with that, that pesky groin injury, and you never know how long those things last. So he will be out, but I think the Bulls will squeak this one out in a close one. They're going to get their swagger back tonight. It's going to be a home game. They're going to want to prove this. I think this isn't just a narrative. That's the word, made up by, the media. I think they really feel that way too, that this is time to prove their worth because they know that they haven't been getting the credit they deserve too. So
yeah,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. And here's something, a little nugget here before we tell you some hopefully potentially big news. I don't think we're breaking it because it seems like other people talked about it, but before we kind of get to all of that. So the top 10, I don't know what this is sorted by, if it's sorted by points per game. It looks like it's points per game. So number 1, Kevin Durant, pretty good basketball player. I think we can all agree on that one. So it's Durant, LeBron, Giannis, Trae Young, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry at 6, and then the only team with 2 players in the top 10. So it's 7 and 8, 7 DeMar DeRozan, 8 Zach LaVine. Already amazing, incredible. But this is the kind of season. I actually take back what I said a little bit earlier in the show where I said, oh, DeMar's a little more consistent. I forgot their stats are the same. They have exactly the same stats, basically. I don't know if you saw this, Nick.
Crazy.
But it's so games played. DeMar is 34, Zach is 35. Minutes, 35.1 for DeMar, 35.0 for LaVine. Points, 26.4 for DeMar, 26.2 for Zach LaVine. Field goals made, each 9.5. What's the other one? And field goals attempted, 19.4 for DeMar, 19.3 for LaVine. And then the last one, the other crazy one, field goal percentage, 49.1 for DeMar, 49.2 for Zach. They're statistically within, if you added up all that, they're statistically within probably 8 of just total stats in that category. I guess besides games played, because that's a whole one. Craziness. They are definitely,
that is insane.
They both deserve to be in the MVP conversation. So I take back, even putting LaVine a tier below DeMar. They're both up there. But speaking of MVPs, and we'll get to that in a moment here, the early 2010s vibes are back. The bench mob returns in 2021. Maybe a little special return tomorrow from guys like Alex Caruso, hint, hint, wink, wink, Kobe White, Javonte Green. In a week, he'll be back. Derek Jones Jr., and of course, the Chicago kid, Ayo Dosunmu. Head over to www.benchmob.com to get your Benchmob shirt. Nick's rocking it, the wristbands. I got them going and more. Use code J20JY20 to get 20% off your order. Portion of all sales goes to the Quiet Storm Foundation. That's CJ Watson's foundation. So I think I've alluded to it enough if you haven't already figured it out. The prince that was promised, the one true MVP, Alex Caruso. It seems like, and Nick's the guy with all the absolute facts, so everything he said, take it completely seriously. If he gets it wrong, let him know.
Yes, please.
Seems like he is at least able to rejoin the team tomorrow, Wednesday, I guess. So today, if you're watching it, against the Nets, Nick.
Yes. Yeah, dude, you nailed it. That's it. And the episode. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
So Caruso entered protocol. He got a poor shake, man. So he had that groin injury. And then I believe either the same day or the day after he entered health and safety protocol. So the minute he was cleared back to to practice fully, start running. I mean, like I said, those groin injuries, they just linger around. But the day he was cleared, he entered health and safety protocols. That was on the 5th. This would be his 6th full day in protocol. So now that the guidelines have changed, he has technically served his full term. He served his bid now.
Yeah.
He's done his time, done 6 days. So I'm hoping, as long as we're right on counting this, which it should be easy, but it's not. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. I don't see why he wouldn't be, because it seems like the injuries, the groin, the ankle, that isn't even a factor anymore. It's strictly health and safety protocol. He had some mild symptoms, I guess. So he's just now started conditioning. So that's the only thing I'm worried about, Tony, is that, if he's just now starting to run, how much is he really going to play, even if he's activated tomorrow, right? But how bad could it be? I mean, he's a pro, man. He's a pro's pro. He'll be ready to go. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I can definitely see him not playing, on Wednesday night against the Nets, and it kind of being that almost aiming for that Warriors return, just because, like you said, when you were kind of laying out the timeline, it's not just he was gone for 6 days. He could figure out how to stay, obviously I know, if his breathing is messed up or whatever, he can more or less stay in shape in 6 days, but it's the fact all the injuries beforehand and it just being the snowball. So that would be, he might be out for the weekend. Okay, so basically, if we're right and he comes back against either the Nets or the Warriors, credit us. If we're wrong, then I think Bulls Nation, tweeted something about it, so it's their fault. And I think that kind of sums that up. So I guess we will kind of, Nick, unless you got anything else specifically about that, we can kind of end it on some predictions for.
Let's do it, man.
So we'll do a Bulls Nets prediction, Bulls Warriors, and Bulls Celtics, because this will be the last one, last Bulls podcast of the week. I'm going ice fishing again. The other Nick is actually going ice fishing as well. And Nick, I'm not going to make you do, a podcast by yourself. So Bulls Nets, I'm thinking DeMar goes off for 41. Zach has, I guess, also 41. It would have to be to statistically say the same.
Oh, yeah.
No, they both get 36 and 9 assists. And the Bulls win 114 to 103. And they cover whatever the spread is. So adjust accordingly if for some reason it's a big spread.
I like it. I like it.
Check that. Any comments or thoughts?
I like it.
Okay.
I was actually going to go. I think it's going to be close. Like I said, I do think it's going to be close. Kyrie, no matter what we do, is going to get his bag regardless. I mean, he's just a good player, right? Kevin Durant, not too bad either. We haven't even mentioned James Harden's name, and I actually like that. So I wish I didn't just say his name, because I wish we just never said his name.
I'm sure this could be jinxing it, but just like, I'm not scared of him right now. I'm really not, He's not even at that top 10 list. Kyrie understandably isn't, because he's just been out, he hasn't played really, or at all, I think. Or he obviously played a couple nights ago, but I'm just not scared of James Harden. I'll say it right now, with my chest out. I'm not scared of James Harden.
I'm not either, man. Come at us. I'm going 120, 114. I think it's gonna be close. Like I said, high scoring though. Because again, I think there's just gonna be a lot of excitement. It's either gonna be like super high scoring or super low. I don't really see anything in between. Because
we might get the Nets bet. It might be the reverse of what it's always been for the Bulls for 6 years, however long, where we're going to get the Nets best shot, because we're technically ahead of them. It's people are talking about the Bulls instead of Kevin Durant. Maybe Kyrie actually has a little bit of a heart left in his body. Who knows, for basketball? That you understand what I meant by that. So yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. I'm trying to pull up the spread here. I don't think it's up. So that's why looks like I'm texting. Well,
I know I don't think it's up yet, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close.
It is weird because they do it because it's a back-to-back. So like if God forbid anybody on any of the teams gets injured, I won't even single anyone out specifically. That would obviously affect it so much. So actually, if that's probably the reason. So speaking of guys coming back from injuries, Klay Thompson and the Warriors, we got them on Friday at the home gym still. Screw it. Bulls win 121. No, 122, because I did 111 for the last game. 122 to 117. And it's Zach LaVine. No, it won't be a buzzer beater because you can't win by 4 on a buzzer beater, but it'll be like a big 3 at the end, a couple fouls, probably with like under 10 seconds. That's my prediction.
You know what? Mine's lame, but I'm going to piggyback on yours, because I was going to say they're going to lose, but I just want to go with that now.
Okay.
Again, I think it's going to be a close game, shootout of sorts, but oof. And then we got Celtics Saturday, right?
In Boston too. We got to fly to Boston. Not Boston. But the actual players, but you know what I mean?
If we lose to the Warriors, how about this? If we lose to the Warriors, we're going to beat the Celtics by 15 plus.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Mm-hmm. That's my prediction.
I think that's fair. Yeah, honestly, I think if we beat the Warriors, I think we lose to Boston, just because that'll be such a draining basketball game, and it's a back-to-back where it's a home and away. Like that's brutal. Scheduling, I hate you scheduling people. Last thing about the scheduling people too. So you were mentioning earlier about like the primetime games, you get the ESPN games, kind of they're starting to respect us a little more. And it just kind of clicked with me. And I remember it, I think in the off season, the Bulls have no TNT games. They still don't. I don't know if they could flex that or
Oh
what.
yeah.
But like talk about two great games that could have been TNT games, but they just did they not expect us to be good? Was it do they not take TNT games seriously anymore? I just don't. I don't.
Which would be weird because it's the best.
The TNT Bulls. That was a thing. We were bad and we were good on TNT. Like that was like a whole thing. We were like undefeated until we played the Warriors. I think is what it was. We were undefeated on TNT for like 10 straight games or something that one year.
They don't want us to win, man.
Get out of here, scheduling guys and girls. People of all kinds. We hate you. So yeah, just scheduling people specifically for the NBA and the NFL. You kind of screwed the Bears, but that's a whole different story. Yeah. So Nick, unless you got any final thoughts to piggyback off that one,
Nazis too, maybe.
Yeah, no, and official anti-Nazi podcast for sure.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah,
no, that's all I got.
I think it's fair. Okay, I think we kind of hit on every important topic, and I think that'll do it for this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. Thank you again to my co-host Nick Barr. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And until next time, Bulls fans, keep seeing red.